Hello, welcome back to the Speaking of Tea podcast, where you listen to me nerd out about tea, read you poetry, and talk about whatever it is that's coming up. I am your host, Rochelle, and today I am drinking a very lovely aged shou puerh from 2012. And as I understand it, some of these leaves are actually from 2009 that were first plucked and harvested and processed, and then they kind of got mixed and put into this cake in 2012, so it's been aging since then. I have personally had this cake for about a few years, I think, since like 2021. I think I bought this, and I bought it as a tongue. So here we are. If you know about puerh cakes, you'll be like, I love it, it is so beautiful. And for those who don't, this is the traditional form of pressing tea, and essentially it was used for transporting tea across large distances. Easier to handle tea when it's like compact, put into 100 grams or 375 grams, 357 grams. You mix that. And then they traveled on horseback with it. That's essentially for the reasons. And these teas are really well known for aging. So this one coming from 2012 is pretty exciting. It's got smooth character. It's kind of got a chocolatey character to it. And I had my first steep today, and let's just say I kind of screwed up. If you know about doing tea gong fu cha style, we're using these little pots. I mean, if you've been here, you'll have seen this already. But so we use this little pot for the tea. The tea goes right into here, and we do multiple steeps. The first one is a rinse, and I got distracted setting up for this during the rinse period. So then I open up the pot. There's a small amount of water, and that little bit's getting pretty heavily steeped. I'll be honest, it didn't taste that great because part of the experience of the rinse is to open up the leaves for flavor, and I don't know, it just then I just way overdid it, and then it got bitter, and then it was also cold. So one of those times when I should just dumped it down the tea tray, but that's okay. And now I got a real steep. It's hard to do this on camera and not pour everything out. You see what's going on here? Anyways, I'm gonna sip this. So let me just give this a little ding with our tea bell here. Oh wow, that's like the sweetest I've ever had this tea. How strange. I feel like I'm having like a plum, because it's still like more of a bitter fruit, but like plum-like, you know? Someday they're going to be able to advance our technology so that you can taste through the camera and taste what I'm experiencing. Don't they like go back and colorize black and white film? It's going to be something like that. It's going to be pretty advanced now. Then again, if we are in the Matrix and everything is actually like basically a computer code or simulation theory, that's it. Yeah, if it's like simulation theory, then we already have access to all those things. So maybe if you're more advanced in the simulation experience, you can taste it with me. How is it that I'm drinking a very beautiful, earthy beverage? talking about the simulation? I don't know. That's the question only you can answer. And maybe you leave your answer in the comments. And if not, that's okay. Oh, what a beautiful steep. I can stretch now. I kind of feel like I was laying down a long time. I don't know. What did my night look like? Let's see. I went out to the potluck. That was nice. Vegan potlucks in town once a month. Those are always great to go to. I won a prize. I won some beautiful locally Vancouver Island made, unless it was like one of the other little islands. Now that I think about it, the lady might be on like one of the like Denman Island or something like that. Anyway, it's like it's on the coast over here. So anyway, nice like peppermint vegan chocolate. Oh, I had a couple bites of it last night. Oh my God. Last night though, what in context, when I was having the chocolate, I was watching Twin Peaks. Dude, oh my God. I first started watching Twin Peaks like 2 years ago. Yeah, it could have been like the end of 2022 or beginning 2023 kind of thing. And I was like watching it like a couple episodes, a night, different nights, so yada yada. Anyway, the streaming service I was watching it on decided to cut it out of their streaming shows, whatever that they had available. Right when I was like in the middle, I think, of the second season. So that was brutal. It like really ripped a certain part of my heart out, like you can't do that to somebody. You can't do that to somebody when they're binge watching. I'm sorry, I don't know anything about how it feels watching that show on cable and keeping track of everything when you get like things released over like a week or 2 weeks, blah, blah, blah. And the different seasons taking place, being released across like a year or two. What was the first season done? Like the 90, 91, and then like 92, whatever. I think that was like a year ago. Anyways, it was still pretty brutal. And a part of me was missing, having not finished the show, not finished like the whole mystery. So anyway, somebody recently showed me a new streaming service where I can actually like access everything for free. Oh my God. So I found a couple of different shows or films, like episodes of things that like I either want to like look back on, and then it like dawned on me like, in the past week, like, oh my God, I can watch Twin Peaks. I can finish this. So then I like try to like hop into an episode where like I kind of like thought I may have ended up, but then like trying to watch this episode and realizing I no longer had any connection to the story or the characters, like wiped out. Too much has happened, I guess. So like I talked to my friends about it, and one friend was like, you're just gonna have to start from the beginning and binge watch it. I'm like, no, I don't have time to binge watch. I got other stuff going on, I'm working on the business, got all these things happening, and and then whatever, left it there. Yeah, it only took me like a day or two later to actually just start an episode from the beginning and binge watch. It feels good. It always feels good to have like a show going, like you got to do it. Anyways, it's such an interesting show. And I love the cinematography. I love the characters. I love the situations and the music that like drives the plot or carries the plot, like it's not the same as a lot of shows that are kind of out more nowadays, or I don't know, just a lot of other shows out there. Like the music drives a certain kind of drama for the emotional appeal and stuff. But like in Twin Peaks, when you got like somebody walking into a room. It's not like a judgmental, like, dun, 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 whatever. You just got jazz music. You got someone's on the, what do you call it? You know, whatever conversation happens, it could be very shady. It could be, you know, somebody just kind of being a little bit mysterious or this and that. So I love how the music carries the plot. That's super cool. I love the weirdness of characters that you get in this small town. And like, you know, people aren't particularly judgmental. They're just like, okay, yep, that's that person. All the different unraveling, intertwining relationships between people, and then like, you know, then of course the ongoing mystery that unravels the darker parts of the human experience that are explored in the show. You know, it just, like with David Lynch's style, and I can't name a bunch of his stuff right now, or can say I've watched a ton, but still, like, this is David Lynch. Yeah, they're like the interesting little moments of the mundane that can just get carried out in a moment too, or like characters just being like so awkward with each other. It's just something really beautiful in the way that it's written. It's not like, you know, because there's awkward moments in characters when a script just isn't written that well, or the actors can't really pull it off in a way that actually makes them seem like a good actor. But the awkward moments that are just like actually drawn out, like that can take like 2 whole minutes, whereas other shows will just do something awkward for a quick laugh. And then you like literally get the laugh track, and it just like gets it more cheesy. But yeah. I love it. I love the show. I might come back to like something like that's like actually like sticking with me, but I don't know. It's just been a good experience. I'm like, right now I'm like at episode like 17 or 18 in the second season. There's like 21 or so episodes, so that's fun. Yeah. The owls are not what they seem. It's one of those things, the shows too, like you get like a good line that's happened or whatever, or there's like a very important detail for you to recall, you know, and then they'll bring in an idea back across like 6-8 episodes later. And the great experience of binge watching is that you are actually like saving all of those little tidbits of information, because you're like so immersed in it that you're basically in the story. I think that's probably why I like binge watching, and then I get like really the whole thing out of the story, because when you watch it a little bit too sparse, you're gonna miss out on things. Again, I'm so far removed from actually watching a show that you get the episodes like once a week or so, and that's a whole other experience. Like you definitely hold on to different details, you carry that through your week, and you're musing over it all. And yeah, it's really interesting actually, just to think about the psychology of watching shows and how you are experiencing it, retaining the information, and yeah, all of that experience now and like just like 20 years ago. Oh my God. I mean, when did we actually get Netflix? What year was that? I feel like as early as 2012. Almost for sure, right? I don't know. Anyways. Yeah. Okay, just yeah, other side note. The weather's been great except for yesterday was okay. Today is pretty cloudy. But I got strawberries growing, and I'm eating them. How high do you think my voice can go? No, I'm eating my strawberries. This is so cool. I think I put these ones in the ground like a couple of years ago, And so there's like a little bit of production last year, I think, but actually I ended up going away beginning of June last year. So, and then the strawberries started growing and I wasn't even here. So sad. But this year I'm gonna eat the strawberries. Oh, and there's so many of them. Oh, and they're just so tiny too. And like, well, you're used to buying strawberries from the store, seeing them from there, and they're like, good old yay big, variably. But then the ones in the garden, I'm realizing they are ready to be picked when they're small, because that's just how big they're growing. That's it. They're gonna get that big. And the thing is, you also have to be aware of the birds, because if your strawberries are just sitting out, I mean, a bird can come by and like the moment that morning when that new strawberry is grown in and it's like ripe, a bird's gonna swoop in and take it on you, and like that's no fun. So, yeah, you do have to, get out there. And so I'm like, okay, I guess I'm picking them when they're small. Hey, it's beautiful. I don't know why I'm going on this tangent. I do appreciate them being small, and it's just they're so real and alive and fresh and tiny and the food picked from your own garden is going to be infinitely better than something you're going to get from the store, because you did take the time to raise it and water it and give it love. And then, then it's just like right there. It's like, dude, it's like, I don't know, stocking up on pens and journals. And then, you don't have to go rushing to the store for a new one when you need one, because they're all there. Okay. I don't know. It's not even comparable to food, but you know what I mean? It's just right there in front of you. It's so cool to be able to walk outside and just like pick something and eat it. Yeah. Not that I have a whole lot of things like that. I think that's pretty much the only thing at the moment. I do have potatoes in the ground. I have beets in the ground, but they have not been going anywhere. So not sure that's going to work. I'm almost tempted to actually start a new little batch of seeds and just see what the next new little batch does. I think I did something wrong with I had like a growing kit, put the seeds into these little pucks and they grew, and then it seeded and started the plant really quickly, but then it's been honestly a month and a half, 2 months, and it's gone bloody nowhere. We got the stems and that's it. But then I didn't actually tear off the little fabrics when I put it into the ground. I just thought the roots would be strong enough to pierce through that and just go. But they didn't. My soil isn't exactly amazing like planting soil either. So I don't know. It's just is what it is. So, anywho, it's nice to have a garden, and working on my yard too is just a good in between tasks kind of thing. I'll be honest, it took me over a week to even get here and do this podcast. I kept scheduling it and kept just kind of not getting to it yet. Either other things going on, keeping myself busy, or just then not quite in the mood. Or then it was I think I have time, and it's 11 o'clock, and I'm I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, but what would I talk about? Last time I was talking about Peacock Poetry Publishing, and I am just also so sure that is 100% happening. I'm so excited. It really does feel like the right move for me to make a publishing company. And, I already have quite a few people interested in it. So that is super duper cool. And I want to hop in and start doing this work today, but, and I mean, I'm basically am in terms of getting it all ready and meeting people and learning what people want, it's probably going to end up ranging from having poetry books, for sure. That's going to be my main point. But I already have people I want to do a children's book. I'm like, okay, sweet, let's do a children's book. And then also sort of like memoir sort of things, because like my coaching programs are also going to be like mental health processing. So it's going to be like a whole journaling journey, releasing trauma, and then just like this, and like just using writing as a healthy outlet of emotion. Excuse me. And so how do I go on that train of thought? Basically, if you end up writing like 3 journals worth of stuff like I did back in 2020, then you might want to actually turn it into something that you can remember by, or, like have that healing experience and that freshness of words that were coming out of you during that period of healing is really beautiful to be able to hold on to, open up again at a later time if you start struggling again, and see what that beautiful healed part of you had to say during those times. And then it's a way to keep remembering who you are, and a way to keep knowing who you have been. Like when you're struggling, like you don't feel totally like yourself, you don't feel like your strongest self, or a self that other people even like. You start to get anxious, like no one even likes me. I don't know. Might not even like yourself during those times. Which is like, I don't know. I can't say fair, but like fair, right? Like it's not your best self. When you want to be in a place where you're loving yourself more. Anyway, that's kind of the idea behind sort of writing memoir sort of novels. It could be a whole like long novel. If you got like 300 pages of stuff, cool. If it's like 150 pages, also cool. Yeah, we'll just sort of just see what comes up. I know that through the publishing company, I'm going to have to publish my own little memoir. Did I have a title for it? It's possible. What's off the top of my head right now actually is Sweet Eyes Between Mirrors. Now, I know that I wrote that like kind of title in a different journal that was more about experiences with like my spirit guides or psychedelic experiences and this and that. And the idea is that behind that title, I have my spirit guides, mandala mirrors and peacock eyes. So Sweet Eyes Between Mirrors. And it's kind of like a self-reflection sort of thing too. Oh, you know what? That is definitely the title of the self-reflection thing. Okay. Thanks. Solve my own problem. Definitely I have my title. Okay. Well, I guess now I'm going to have to make it, won't I? I know I've always known that it was meant to become a novel. I just didn't have the motivation for a while. Like it was like I went through my healing and then I just didn't need to be in that energy for a long time, if that makes sense. So it wasn't exactly like a fear. A small amount of it is a fear thing because I am writing about specific people in my life and their names are all in there. So if I am to publish it, I'm most likely going to be changing the names of people. Can't really change it when I'm saying my mom and my dad. But like, I don't know. Yeah. I guess that kind of level of like, how do I say, character confidentiality and just being direct about like real people. I don't know. Obviously it's going to be a nonfiction piece anyways, but yeah. I mean, my biggest trouble where it all started was this terrible roommate that I had. And I honestly don't feel any pain to actually write her name in the book because it's honestly better off that stuff is known in the world about this person. I don't know. That's my feeling about it. Might have to consult another professional about such a thing, but we'll see. But anyway, I am also very aware too that me sharing that experience is going to help a lot of other people too, because they might also be living in a really tough roommate situation. Roommate that's what it was for me. She was a roommate, but I've also ended up like in my head calling her my ex-wife because that's how intensive it was. It's not like we were together, but it was like, that's the feeling that I got, was like a really mean, bad partner. The way that in a very short time our lives got so intricately connected, and it just like felt like ex-wife energy. Oh my God. But and that was like a period of living with somebody for like even like 6 months, but like other people have lived with a bad roommate for like a couple of years, or it could be like actually an actual marriage, right? Narcissistic or abusive, gaslighting behavior, so how I think it would help people for me to actually have this work out there. I'm sort of nervously just like picking out things here, but how I think it's actually going to help people is to notice little red flags or notice behaviors sooner than they otherwise would have about a situationship, I guess we'll put it, that they're in, or just like things that you might overlook because you're very empathetic and you're just like, I care for this person, I want to help them. That's where I was a lot. And realizing how much that's actually just putting more stressors on you, and that it's not a give and take relationship, it's just a take relationship. That's what it ended up becoming for me. So yeah, if I can help people get out of a situation sooner because they're noticing it, I mean, yeah, just hopefully the book ends up being a safe thing in that house. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. I mean, I say that because I was nervous about even writing my actual feelings about my situation in my personal journals, because I just was afraid that she was going to go and find them and read them and give me shit for writing things about her that were not positive, because lo and behold, I had nothing positive to say. Yeah, it was like that. Sweet eyes between mirrors. My eyes were the only sweet ones. Anywho, where am I at now? Reviewing my last podcast, I guess, on the poetry publishing. Okay. All right. So where are we at now? I quit my job. And it was like a power move to do it. Not like a power move, like I'm not like mad and blah. It was actually like finding a really place in my heart where I've been working for Canadian Mental Health Association for 4 years. So addictions and homelessness services, support worker, and yada yada, various things. Lots of things come up, right? So I decided, I realized it's just not the place for me anymore. I needed to grow as a young person who hasn't really, I mean, I've kicked off my life. I've done some great things, but my actual, my bottle of energy and creativity got diminished so often by being in those environments and having to come home and self-heal and just come back and be myself after being in that kind of environment. It's not full of inspiration. It's really not. So as a very creative person, it was just going to kind of keep draining me. And so as a person who also just needs to keep growing and growing up, so to say, and be more career focused, I couldn't be there anymore. It consumed too much of my time and too much of my heart. So now, what is it? June 12th? No, it's 13th. Happy Friday the 13th. It's been 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. That was my last day. I think. Boom. A Friday was my last day, and it's a Friday today that I'm recording. So, yeah, it's been such an interesting journey. I spent the first week just kind of like chipping away at my business, but also needing to live. I think I just kind of like ended up, I don't know, going out different nights of the week, just having fun. And I don't know. I don't really know what to say, but it's been nice getting to come back into myself more fully, and just kind of like live without the idea that I'm gonna have to go to work, or that I get like a day off or 2 days off, and then I'm like, oh, now I have to schedule things that I can go into work, and I don't know. It's good. I'm just really excited for this stage in my life. Well, I'm not excited. I'm living it. So still a lot of like mixture of feelings, and I'm only 2 weeks actually out. So I know like in a month from now, things are going to be so bloody transformed. It's so cool. I feel this coming on. So that's great. Yeah. Let's see. I started yesterday open mic poetry at my house. That was fun. The idea, the thing is the poet's backyard. So, yeah, basically, the idea is that I'm going to be setting up on the lawn, bringing the microphone, the amp out. That is what happened yesterday, except we just end up on like the little patio space because there was only or up to 4 of us at a time. So it was good. We just kind of like sat in a circle and were able to drink tea and read, perform, whatever, pass the microphone around us. It was good. It was just nice and informal. And I was excited to get it started, but then when the day happened, I was just kind of like, I don't know how to say, like a little bit groggy, a little bit moody, a little bit meh. I'm just going to chalk that up to nerves. So whatever. Oh, it's good. I'm so whatever about if I have nerves. I'm like, I guess, because there's a different feeling of like when you're having anxiety and thinking like everything's terrible. It wasn't that. It was just like meh, don't feel like doing stuff. I mean, I didn't even get the microphone outside until like the top of the hour when I was already supposed to have things set up, but whatever. Closer friends came over and it was very, very nice. Everyone had something to read. Even one person who I invited, I'm just like, I just felt like she'd have fun being there. And then she's pulled out from, oh yeah, I got like some different poems I don't want to read. And I don't know, I might want to read. I'm like, do it, be open, be vulnerable. She's like, oh, okay. I'm like, that was easy to convince you. And then like her reading a couple of things, and I'm just like, I look at her, I'm like, I love the fact that I had no idea that you wrote poetry, and I just wanted you to be here, but here you are with like a bunch of stuff that I can sniff out my poets. Not creepy at all, Rochelle. Not creepy one bit. And actually, I end up practicing my metal screams. I practiced my metal screams, or showed off a little bit on the mic. I'm nervous. We're outside. I'm like, I don't know, like doing this outside, people are gonna hear me screaming like bloody horrific murder. Anyway, they encouraged me, so I did it, and that was fun. And I don't know, some conversation came up, like, the thing of like, a woman in the woods are you more afraid of a man approaching or a bear approaching? You're kind of more worried about a man. So something I have now in my back pocket is now that I can do screamo metal screams. And if I see a man in the woods, I can just like scream at I can't even say top of my lungs, but I mean, yeah, or the bottom of my lungs, and just like say some like really creepy thing about the devil or whatever. And I will scare him out of sight. Take that. Oh my God. It'll be effective. I mean, I've for a long time just like dreamt that like if someone like even approaches me on the street and is creepy, I could just like start singing at them. They'd be like, what? Well, yep, I'm that weird. Because the thing is, no one wants to touch the creepy thing, right? Thing. Like if, like think about the horror movies with like little dolls, or like oh my god, what's the Grudge, right? Creepy girl, hair over her face. Oh, I can't do it. Is that it? I don't know. So those are terrifying, right? Like or a creepy little girl with a high little voice. Hello, how are you? That'll scare the shit out of anybody. So basically, just be really creepy, and no one's gonna want to touch you. They'll run. Boom, done. Be creepy. Oh, lovely. Well, you're so lovely. I love you, T. I really do. You are one of the loves of my life. Or the love of my life. It's hard to tell. I mean, does a human really compare to your spirit, my love? Look how dark the steep is, though. You can't really entirely tell with this lighting, but it's dark. It's dank. It's beautiful. Easy breezy beautiful. This is tea. I can't say it's breezy, but I'm sorry, I don't have word descriptions for this right now. I can't. Oh. If you don't know T, you should meet her. Okay. On not the topic of being creepy, but excuse me. T doesn't usually make me burp. Okay, sure. Whew. All right, we just need a laughter time there. Okay. On the same day that my grandmother passed, sorry, that was not the order the phrase was supposed to go in. I was supposed to say, on the same day that I finished my job, on my last day, my grandmother passed away. Here we go. Her name was Elizabeth Mecca. She was 83 years old. She is such a curious joy in this world. She's so quirky, so silly. She's sharp. She's strong-willed woman as well. She passed from cancer. Yeah, that's like 2 weeks ago now, and I guess the funeral was just held yesterday. I couldn't be there. It's across the country. It's actually in another country. It's actually in the US. I'm in Canada, but also like all the way across in New York State. So I'm in British Columbia. So it didn't quite make sense for me to like actually go and be there, but it's still there. It's in my heart. So sending love to her through this. Well, it inspired me to do a grief poetry workshop also. So that's what I'm going to be running it next week. It's going to be an online workshop that is going to be held across like 5 days. So we're going to use the Telegram app, and we're going to have a group chat going. I'll be sharing some like different prompts or guidance, or maybe even like little meditation. And And we're going to have like some live Zoom calls as well. Yeah, a space for processing grief. Because I mean, it's kind of nice for me that I'm like fresh in this. I've had a little bit of time, but I haven't fully processed it. And I know that writing some poetry is going to help me be really connected to this. I mean, this is my grandmother, it's my blood. And I just, you know, I don't feel like I've given it enough time and love yet. I kind of dreamt of the workshop sort of like at that time. And I just haven't, anyway, I'm going to start next week. I'm going to have it go between, June 16th to 20th. And the idea is to do it during the final days that are leading up to the longest day of the year. Not that it's dark whatsoever, but there's still kind of an intention to that. And then we will have gone through a journey for 5 days and just given real intention and attention also to who it is that we're grieving, who we want to notice, even if it's multiple people for you, because I mean, yeah, right. Like it's just going to be one person at a time. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there's not a ton of like intentional spaces to deal with grief directly. And I feel I can carry people through that process. I mean, one of my spirit guides that's come now later than the memoirs and Peacock eyes. Like he came to me like a year and a half-ish ago. But that's actually somebody who has passed away. So, and now that's almost, how many years is that now? Almost 4 years. Oh my God. Jeez. Anyways, I had to learn so much about death and so much about grief because I was experiencing it in so many different ways. Loving this person who I didn't know very well, and how to even deal with that. Why am I feeling so much about this person? Now I get to have him with me all the time as a spirit guide, which is so very beautiful. With that, I do channel messages from him and questions that I have about, I don't know. I mean, it's not like I get a lot of answers about the afterlife necessarily. They kind of keep that for me because you got to keep living, keep knowing how to live and keep, experiencing life, because you are here doing whatever this is for a reason. You're here even experiencing these losses for a reason. And there's like so much complexity to the human experience that we shouldn't, I don't know. It's good to experience the grief and all these things because it's, I don't know, I'm just going to repeat myself. It's essential to the human experience. And then each person's experience with different relationships that they have and all these different feelings are also so unique. I want to carry people to write poetry about that, express their thoughts. There's going to be journaling. There's going to be, it's going to be a safe place for if people need to cry, and that's totally welcome. Right. So, yeah, it's going to help me to process, and give proper intention to this as well, to be taking other people through this journey. So, yeah, anyways, that's a simple of what I'm going to be doing. So yeah, I'm just thinking out loud right now. I'm gonna end up clipping parts of this and making another separate video so I can share what this is about with people, because I will be promoting it over this like weekend. Yeah. So I mean, how do I balance where I'm excited about this, but I'm also serious about what the process is going to be? It's not going to be simple, and it's not going to be entirely light, but we are also going to be finding the lightness. Lightness, not dark and heavy. Lightness, not dark and heavy. as a reminder, or I don't know, bring it up if you don't know, I wrote an album back in October actually called Singing to the Dead, and it is about Jesse, a lot of it, that spirit guide, and like kind of using music and song to totally express myself and find healing and just feel like I'm kind of communicating with the heavens a little more in a way, and sort of telling a story and telling different experiences of grief, or how I experience them in my heart. I mean, there's like one song that's like called Follow Me. So like following his light of love, and I don't know, just going, trusting that the light that he is shining is what I need to follow and experience. I don't know, essentially like that. I have a previous podcast, probably like around number 5 or so, that is all about explaining the album and the different songs in the album. I mean, like there's like an Aurora Borealis where, you know, we're getting bursts of Aurora Borealis throughout last summer, but there was also in October too. I made that song like around that time as well, because there's just something really beautiful about how the whole world is seeing this, and normally it's reserved for the North, right? Like, you know, north of Canada, and the fact that like the whole world is seeing this beautiful, phenomenal thing at the same time, taking pictures and seeing similar but always very something different across all of these different parts of the sky and the world. It was something that kind of brought people together globally. So, and like the same experience too. It wasn't like a political thing that brought people together. It's not like some event. It was, you know, it's like a space event, and the shared experience of everybody feeling in awe of something together is so rare. I mean, I missed out if there's conversations about the environment and what do we call it? Global warming. But it's not exactly about that either, right? It's more about the polar energetics, magnetic field twisting. I don't know the science all that well. Sometimes I think I can explain it better, but if you get it, you get it. Yeah. Right. So, yeah, there's just something really beautiful. So, into the pink light, Aurora Borealis shines in through the night. Do, 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 do. The world is at our fingertips, snapping pictures across space. All across the world, we are connected to this. Yeah, I guess I went there instead of talking about the death songs, but that's okay. That's okay. So I think I covered like the things that I wanted to talk about. I mentioned the poetry publishing company, the strawberries just flashed back, the grief workshop, work being over, this beautiful shou, puerh. Yeah. So on that note, I think I'm going to read you some poetry. So, I mean, basically fun fact, I don't know, little story behind this is that a friend of mine called at midnight one night. Oh my God, there's a dead bug in here. Jesus. And was like, do you want to come do some psychedelics? And I'm like, I'm going to go with no. But for you to ask me, or sorry, for me to be aware that you're doing it and know that you're doing it and the way that we're connected is enough for me to channel it. So here's a really nice piece that I end up writing. Pouring out of the vessel, my hand gets scalded. Boiling water, heated clay, teaches temperance and resilience. Candlelight flickers, burning rose essence. This gift, a reminder of self-love. Embody it in every action. Love myself for walking. Love myself for musical skill. Love myself for healing. Love myself for my wisdom. Love myself for singing. Love myself for writing. Love myself for laughing. Love myself for cooking. Love myself for studying. Love myself for loving. Love myself for my kindness. Love myself for the synchronicities. Love myself for knowing pain. Love myself for anger. Love myself for grace. Ooh, and another one, I kind of went in a different direction, more interdimensional. I imagine a soul jump. Hop into the next reality. What happens after I go? Does this vessel get erased? Or is part of my soul multiplying? Maybe this body gets replaced. Oh, this vessel gets replaced. The soul could simultaneously decide to jump and gets switched across many timelines at once. Not a death, but an interdimensional switcheroo, comically explained. Do you know how happy I am to have ended up writing the word switcheroo? Switcheroo. That's in a poem now. Reminder to be playful with your language, because, why not? Also helps you stay original. And I guess I'm at a part where I want to read a oracle card and a tarot card. Which one do we do first? I grabbed this first, so I'm gonna read that. Okay. Secrets of the Mystic Grove. These lovely, fun female lady characters. I'm going to call upon a card that has some energetic relationship between myself and my grandmother, Gammy. Imagination, conjure, dreams, create. Off to a good start. Oh, I should show you. There we go. And that's number 10. Nice. Looking up from her own journal, the woman listens intently to the whisper of moth wings. Each moth is one of her dreams. Her imagination sends them off on flights of fancy. She is remembering her own young girl dreams. The stars on her sleeves remind her to never stop actively imagining. She is committed to dreaming, to allowing herself to see her own future. She understands the value of creative contemplation. Her journal is full of her doodles, scribbles, and visions. You're at a point where you need to clarify your own process. Writing down what is and what might be can help you make your vision personal and real. You may need time to schedule reverie. You may need to schedule reverie time. Making space in your busy world for meditative focus can help you find your way back to your own desires. Who did you want to be when you were 9? What about your 16-year-old self? A journal will be a good tool for you when this card shows up. Allow your pen to dance along the page. Don't edit or critique your dreams and wishes. Give yourself permission to imagine a whole new world. If you have old journals, it may be a good time to dive back into them. Use crayons as well as pens. This is an encouragement for you to dream again. Stop stopping yourself. Well, I can't say I've been stopping myself, but I do love the essence of it because I am such a journaler and a writer. I mean, I got over here like a whole shelf full of my journals, and that's only going to grow. They're going to have to start stacking because limited space. I love this. And I have definitely noticed the need for reverie time. I mean, it's not like I have not been receiving messages about that. Make sure you make time for meditation and visualizations and dreaming. Because I've been very productive work focused. I don't know. I'm in several places at once. Oh my God, one card is backwards. Let's just take a peek at what this backwards one is. Adventure. Life is an adventure. I don't think I need to read that. Experience taking risks. Wish. I wish for my dreams to come true. I wish for many people to attend this grief poetry workshop, not just for myself, but for the betterment of humanity. All right, and we're going to get a little Guardian Tarot. I'm going to just pull a single card right now because I think I'm going to be wrapping this up here. Yeah, these guys, these little earthy humanoid tree creatures, spiritual beings. Yeah. And I'm going to set a similar intention with this card pull. It's going to be something that has to do with the energy. An energy that connects or represents both my grandmother and I. All right, let's see what we got. A 10 of Wands. And it came out reversed, so let's see. I feel like I drew this recently. Oh, hello. Okay, why did I even touch that? Seriously. Okay, 10 of Wands. We gotta find, Wands, beautiful. This guardian experiences a true sense of being completely immersed into the situation with no separation from the experience in sight. In the reverse, this card suggests that you have made your own prison. You are firmly embedded in the situation. Whether you feel a sense of purpose or frustration in the moment, you have made it into what it is. Jeez. Okay, maybe somebody listening or watching this has to hear that. Actually, as I was shuffling, I was kind of starting to set an intention. I just didn't say it out loud that I'm going to just take this as an upright, whatever it is. Anyway, I'm going to read the upright and see if that resonates. Because, there's certain ways, but I don't feel like I've imprisoned myself. I'm really in more of a place of freedom right now. Okay. This card may indicate that you are imprisoned in your responsibilities by the need to survive. There is currently a state of lack of self. Matters have become too much to be constantly involved with at all times. You want to pull away, however, the moment you do, all the cards will fall. Best to start considering a plan to help you disengage from the situation. What situation? Sorry, but no. Can I shuffle again? Is that kosher? I'm going to say somebody needed that, but I didn't. All right. Let's do this again. All right. Let's properly set this intention. Whatever the card I pull, I know it's going to be the upright that actually resonates. I know, not all of the upside downs, whatever, are bad or anything. I don't know. It doesn't always resonate the way that those end up getting written. It's okay. Let's see. Okay, this is a card for my current state of being and anybody who is listening and needs to hear this. Okay, wait, hold on. I just had a thought. I'm going to flip this over. I've got a 3 of Pentacles. I just had an idea, though. I'm going to go back. And 10 of Wands. Okay. In the reverse, this card suggests that you have made your own prison. You are firmly embedded in the situation. Whether you feel a sense of purpose or frustration in the moment, you have made it into what it is. You're imprisoned by your responsibilities, by the need to survive. This is currently a sense of lack of self. Matters have become too much to be constantly involved with all the time. You want to pull away, however, the moment you do, all the cards will fall. Best to start considering a plan to help you disengage from this. Actually, it kind of sounds like death. I did want the card to say something about my grandmother and I, and that kind of sounds like maybe, this is now going to be back just before she passed, but maybe her hanging on to life a little bit longer than she needed to. I imagine she held on for just as long as she needed to teach certain lessons to my father and my half brother, and all of us really, in certain ways. but maybe she felt like, maybe in that state she was also sort of suffering with the need to keep hanging on, and she sort of made her body a prison until she finally let go. Interesting. Huh. I'm sure a lot of people dying feel that. I also actually got more, when I kind of stopped and paused, I thought about maybe how in the afterlife, like she could be in a place of being in limbo right now. Like those who are ready to go and see the light, but they're not letting themselves be ready or something. There's still something that they want to solve. Okay, wow, that's interesting. I feel like I'm going to have to do some mediumship or try to reach her, Reiki or something. She might still feel responsible for doing some tasks, doing some things in the afterlife. And I don't know, I might be able to harness that energy and pull something from it. Again, why I want the grief workshop, because I want to make sure I give myself the actual time to connect and engage. I did feel her. It was like the day after she passed, and I was walking along the beach, and I felt like all of my spirit guides kind of like walking with me, and we're all just kind of like, they're all kind of like sort of a V formation, or like standing by my side. And then I felt her energy, and it was just, I don't know. I think she just kind of said something like, "I love you, honey." No, there's something else that she said, but anyways, it was really beautiful. Yeah. Huh. All right. Three of Pentacles. The ghosts of the past float through the mind of the guardian. She is a significant reminder to raise your eyes. Remember those who have crossed your path. They each brought an experience to your life. For without, your life would certainly have been less meaningful. They contribute to make you who you are in the present. As time moves on, the past is always with us. It is the nuances of behavior, encounters that work to define a soul. As this card presents itself in the upright, it calls for you to acknowledge the past and influences that have contributed to who you are now. They have helped to build you from the ground up, and you are now able to move forward and share that knowledge with others. I was just thinking, well, I mean, I think about that regularly, but yesterday I had a particular thought about the music that I've listened to and kind of sort of been raised with. Not raised like necessarily that was the stuff my parents listened to. I carved my own path entirely listening to like hardcore metal music, but the way all those bands, their lyrics, their musical styles, the way I've danced to them, sang to them, screamed to them, has all been a giant influence into who I actually am as a person now. And in case for anybody who's hearing this and resonates, I'm going to read the reverse side. The guardian asks that you consider the behaviors that are directly tied to past experiences that are counterproductive to your personal growth. It is time to acknowledge and, potentially, let go of that which is no longer functional to your soul. You need to come to terms with behaviors embedded from past experiences that now work against personal growth in the current situation. I'm glad that I read that. That's also really powerful reason to join an intentional grief workshop like I'm running, because hanging on too much on to that situation in the past, like, if you're grieving and not able to actually let go, this is a journey to help you let go in a very healthy way, so that you come out with something like you've written a beautiful poem that describes your feelings and your situations. You can take that and describe it to people around you who maybe are having a hard time understanding what you're going through. So, and then you get to grow, let go and grow. All right. Well, thanks for joining me. this was fun. Have yourself a lovely day, and we'll chat soon.